Greetings, it's Tonya Poole here with the very first episode of Summer Alchemy. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, you are probably aware that a couple of months ago we did Spring Alchemy, which was all about learning how to get through the spring months with success and to plant the right seeds that would lead to our personal success, our personal transformation, and our personal prosperity to help us be our best selves during the spring season. And so now we're in the summer season. And I decided that Summer Alchemy should actually be a much smaller course, if you will, than the spring alchemy. Summertime, even though it's a time when we really should be working, summertime is actually the time when a lot of people are on vacation and we're moving a lot slower. I think it may just be because of the heat too. So I decided that Summer Alchemy would just be a 3-part series, but I will still delve deep into what it means, what Summer Alchemy means, what it means for us, the things that we should be looking out for, the things that we should be working towards, the same way that I did during the Spring Alchemy, but it's just going to be a little bit shorter and maybe a little lighter, and it'll give you a little taste. If you didn't get a chance to join us for Spring Alchemy, it will give you a little taste of what the Alchemy series is all about. And so for those of you who don't know, alchemy is the art of transformation. Okay, it's all about transforming. Historically, the alchemists were trying to find ways to transform lead into gold, and it was all about transforming something that was considered less than perfect, had a few impurities and things of that nature, into something that was purified, something that was of greater value, something that was more durable and longer lasting. And so when we look at alchemy as it relates to us as people and in the transformations that we go through as people, we should always be evolving, right? Evolving in ways that help us to be better, that help us to be more successful in our endeavors, that help us to be more successful as people, as friends, as lovers, as mothers, daughters, fathers, sons, whatever title that we give ourselves that we value, we're always looking for ways in which we can do better and be better. And so the seasonal alchemy series, spring, summer, fall, and winter, I look at how nature itself is transforming. Each season brings with it its own form of transformation. And when we tap into what nature is doing, then we are actually utilizing the power and the energy that's already available to all of us and using that to transform and empower our own lives. And I also look at a little bit of astrology as well when I'm looking at the seasonal alchemy series. So I'm looking at astrology, I'm looking at nature, and just seeing how we can move forward and transform, because each season actually builds upon each other. And so when we have a successful spring season, we create a successful summer, and then a successful summer leads to a successful fall. A successful fall hopefully will lead to a successful winter. And success is all about however you define success for you. I don't have just one universal definition for success, but we should all have our own definitions for what success means for us. Success in any area of our lives, or just overall. Okay, so with summer alchemy, there are 3 signs in the summer season, and they are Cancer, which is a water sign, Leo, which is a sun sign, which is a fire sign. Is planet or universal body, if you want to call it that, is ruled by the sun. And then the 3rd sign of summer is Virgo, which is actually the sign that kind of wraps up summer and leads us into the fall. So for this video, we're just going to focus on the first part of summer, which is the Cancer season, which we're in right now. We're getting close to the end of Cancer season, but for all my Cancers out there, hey, how you doing? But we are in the Cancer season. And so Cancer is a water sign. It is a sign that reflects our emotions. It actually follows Gemini. So the astrological sign before Cancer that we just went through was Gemini. Gemini was the last sign of spring. Okay, so Gemini prepared us for where we are now. And so here we are, we're in the Cancer season, which is about our feelings and about nurturing, and it's about our home, and it's about whatever we relate to home, which could be comfort. It could be things relating to our mothers, or if we are mothers, it could be us, it could be you, right? So that Cancer sign ushers us in to summer. So what does that really mean? Well, when you look at the early parts of summer, like in June, depending on what part of the world you're in, but the northern hemisphere is like June. The summer solstice was in late June, and it runs through to about July 20th, 21st. And so what is going on is that in nature, those of us who plant seeds, who plant literal seeds in the ground, are oftentimes pulling our first harvest during this time. So whatever was planted in spring, you're beginning to see the signs of it coming forth. Now, if we want to put that towards our lives and our relationships, whatever relationships we started or engaged in during the spring season, we are beginning to see the fruits of how we manage those relationships now. If it was a new business that we started, this is the time when we may be beginning to see how is it coming along. You know, it may still be a little rocky, or it's still early in its development, but we may have had our first little bit of success, right? And this is the time when we begin to nurture those first fruits that are coming forth. We begin to nurture them and love them, and really take care of them, give them good vibes, good energy, good attention, and good love. And so this is the time when we should be reflecting on all of the things. If you, and I'm gonna try to link one of the first videos from Spring Alchemy for those of you who did not take part in that. But if you remember, those of you who did, Spring Alchemy, that was a time when we were planting our seeds. We were getting whatever it was that we desired to see for the rest of the year. We were really putting that in the ground, and things were just starting. And so now we're seeing the first fruits of whatever we began at that time. Now, if you missed it, it's okay. It's okay. The wonderful thing about nature and just life in general is that it's cyclical. Okay, so it's kind of like a Ferris wheel. Wherever it is, or not a Ferris wheel, a merry-go-round. However it's spinning, and wherever you are, you can find a way to jump on, okay? So don't feel like you missed out. If you got to jump on now and say, hey, you know, I didn't plant those good seeds of the relationship that I wanted, the business that I wanted, the health improvements that I wanted to make for myself. I kind of missed out on that in the spring, or I fell off the bandwagon. That's okay. This is the time to jump back on, but you want to make sure that you go ahead and do that, because after summer comes fall, you know, and after fall comes winter. And a lot of times, though, it's not too late to ever jump on. Sometimes when we do jump on and begin to make certain improvements in our lives, we decide to do that during the hardest times. And so this would be an easier time to get on board and do the things that you need to do for the transformations that you seek in your life, and for the improvements that you may seek in your life. And so this Cancer season is all about loving and nurturing and caring for all of those seeds that we put in the ground. This is also the time where we're still planting. Okay, so there's some, if you want to look at actual fruits and vegetables, you know, like from my understanding, strawberries grow really well in the spring, but it's blueberries that begin to produce fruit during the summer. Okay, so there are certain things that if you want to take it to plants, fruits and vegetables, there are some things that don't even go into the ground until this time of the year. Okay, so it's not too late for you to begin to do the things that you may want to do during this time of the year. So you're reaping your early harvest, but you're also probably still putting seeds in the ground, which is a really good time. This is a really good time to continue to invest in yourself. During the summer, they talk a lot about how children, because it's the summertime and they're not doing homework anymore, they're not reading as much anymore. And so I've been noticing a lot of commercials on the or news articles where they're saying, hey, keep your children reading, they have all these summer reading programs, right? And even for adults, like if you're in a book club, they say, okay, this is the book we're going to read in the summer. It's kind of more lightweight, it's not as heavy, but it's going to keep your mind active. And so things are heating up literally because it's summer, and we may have the tendency that when things heat up, we want to kind of, just chill, take a break, go somewhere and cool off and relax and get real lazy. But this is actually the time when we need to reinvest in our minds, reinvest in what we, if we say that we know something, how do you know that how do you know that you know it? Unless you continue to read, continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to expand, and then nurture what you've learned and how you've expanded. This isn't the time to rest on your laurels. This isn't the time to say, oh, school year's over, or I'm on my vacation for work or whatever. I don't have to learn anything. I don't have to do anything. This is the time when actually you have to make sure that you're staying active. This is also the time where physically we have to begin taking in more water because it's hotter outside. Cancer, it actually is a water sign. So it's like it's in its own way, it's telling us to stay hydrated, to make sure that we're staying nourished through water. Or even those water types of fruits, like you can eat a lot of watermelon or oranges and things like that, those really juicy types of fruits to keep your body and your mind hydrated. I was so hot the other day, like where I am, it's like the temperature just went like skyrocketed. And my daughter and I, she is so funny. She was trying to tell me something, but she was too hot to finish her sentence. And I was too hot to listen. And we just kind of looked at each other and laughed. And we just said, I just said, I know what you're trying to say. And she said, thank you for understanding. Because we were just so, it was like our brain activity just kind of shut down because we were so hot, And so, again, this is the time when we have to remember to nurture. Again, Cancer is that nurturing sign. Nurture our bodies, nurture our minds, whether it's through staying hydrated, staying well fed, probably on lighter foods, nothing too heavy. And then also nurturing our minds through continuing to read, continuing to learn, continuing to grow, continuing to get around people who can help us to learn and grow. With Cancer being the sign also of the mother, this is a good time if you have a good relationship with your mom or your grandmother or mother figures to get around them and just kind of sit at their feet, and just learn from them. What are the, just help grandma bake a cake for no good reason, just because you just want to hang out with grandma, and just always find that when we do things like that, that's the time when we learn the most from our elders, because it's not planned. It's not like school, right? School is very structured. You're going to learn this at this time, then you're going to learn this at this time, and this class starts here and this class starts there. But if you notice, when you learn from elders, they want you to learn through observation. You learn through listening and just being in their presence. So this is a good time to get in the presence of your elders, particularly the elder women, that can really teach you about life, can teach you about, if you're a woman, can teach you about womanhood, can teach you, just give you those little nuggets of wisdom that you can't find in a book, okay? That you can't find on Google. You can only learn this through your grandmother or through, your great auntie so-and-so, So this is a great time for that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot to say for this particular episode. I just kind of wanted to touch base with you, and just let you know what this summer alchemy was looking like, is going to look like. I have a couple of classes coming up at the end of the beginning of August. I will be doing a class on the upcoming lunar and solar eclipses for the month of August. And so make sure that you stay tuned on my website, TonyaPoole.com, where I will give you more information on that. There are certain ways that we can take care of ourselves and get into self-care and really begin to love and nurture ourselves with the cycles of the moon. And so if you're very interested in learning more about that, make sure that you stay tuned on my website. And also I have the remaining episodes for the Summer Alchemy series coming up soon as well. So make sure that you stay tuned, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also connect with me on, I'm really kind of liking Instagram a lot lately. Instagram, I am at thetonyapoole.com. And then on Facebook, I am at Tonya Poole Enterprises, facebook.com/Tonya Poole Enterprises. So make sure that you stay connected so that you can get the remaining summer alchemy classes, as well as information about the actual lunar and solar eclipse events that are coming up soon. All right. Talk soon. Love you much. Peace and love.